3, OB number 16/23/11/22, reported at Kagumo Police Station, Emily Wawera, 15 years old, left Kiarida Secondary School at about 17:00 hours, but did not arrive home. She came home 2 days later, although it was reported as an abduction. The next one, number 4, OB number 25/25/07/2022. Again at Mutito Police Station, Anne Wangoi, aged 18 years, left home to see a friend within Kerogoya Township, but failed to return home. She was later traced in Nairobi on 29 September 2022 and escorted back home. Number 5, OB number 21/28/8/2022, reported at Kerogoya Police Station, Mase Wanjiro Irungo, aged 17 years, left home for Kaderi Market to buy items, but disappeared and was later traced in Nairobi and escorted back home. Finally, the 6th one, reported as OB number 12/09/11/2021 at Kiamashiri Police Station, Bless Ann Wangeshi Maina went missing on her way back from school. The victim has never been traced to date, and the case is still pending under investigations. Honorable Speaker, the government takes abduction very seriously and is therefore inviting any person who has information that can assist the police in the investigations to volunteer the same, and the same will be treated with confidence in order to bring accountability to the outstanding cases which I have listed here and others across the country that fall in the similar category. Honorable Speaker, the government is employing or has employed the following measures to enhance security and bring to book the perpetrators of these abductions and disappearances. 1, we have intensified both foot and mobile patrols along the highway. Along that highway, we have increased the patrols. B, we have expedited the investigations into all reported cases of missing persons. 3, police are working closely with members of the public to engage reporting of missing persons in time. In other words, we are investing in better police-public relationship as the solution to ensuring that cases like this are investigated and culprits are arrested, because the public holds the key to successful investigations and arrests. D, sensitizing communities on the importance of sharing intelligence and prompt reporting whenever there is an incident. Number 5, we have revitalized community policing, a Nyumba Kumi initiative in the area in order to enhance information sharing. And finally, members of the public are continuously being sensitized to be sensitive to security. We must sensitize our members to be conscious of their own security, not to go to places unless they are sure about the environment, and to report suspicious persons likely to be criminals. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Senator Murango, you have any supplementary question? Give him the microphone, clerk.
Asante tena Mstahiki Speaker, kwa maswali ya ziada tauliza maswali mawili tu. Waziri, mnamo mwezi wa Februari mwaka huu kuna ndugu wawili ambao waliuliwa na ukaleta taarifa katika hili bunge. Ndugu wawili waliouliwa kinyama pale, na kutoka wakati huo hatujasikia kulifanyika vipi. Kwa hivyo swali langu ni, je, wale watu wanaouliwa, ndugu Harisa, ndugu wa damu waliouliwa, uchunguzi umefika wapi? Kwa sababu hatujasikia toka Februari mambo inafanyika. Na swali langu lingine la mwisho, kwa sababu sitaki kukuambia mambo ya wizi wa ng'ombe ambao unaendelea Kirinyaga. Kuna jambo lilifanyika kule Kirinyaga kuhusu kiongozi mwanamke wa bunge la kaunti la Kirinyaga ambao alishambuliwa na watu wanaojulikana, wengine ni wafanyikazi katika kaunti ya Kirinyaga kama polisi wa manispaa. Lakini toka siku hiyo wale watu bado wanarandaranda kule, wanakenjeri viongozi kule. Katika uchunguzi wa yale maneno, kwa sababu ni mambo ya aibu, umefika wapi na tunatarajia lini kwamba hatua itachukuliwa kwa wale watu? Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, could you respond to the supplementary questions?
Mr. Speaker, sir, in response to the supplementary questions by Senator Murango, I would like to request for 7 days to file a written response, one on the status of investigations on the two brothers that the Honorable is Murango is pursuing. I would plead that that request be made in writing, so that the names of the deceased, so that I can give a status report in 7 days. Number two, also, with regard to the attack on the women rep for Kirinyaga, I would also plead for time to file a written response to the Senate within 7 days.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Senator Dulo, you had requested to have a supplementary question. I want to ask you to proceed and ask the CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll ask quick questions since I had requested earlier on the 3 questions, which will be very fast. Number one, CS, congratulations for the good job. I know you are up to task. We've served in this house together twice. You are up to task. So, Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to ask, number one, on the recruitment of NPR, and again, Mr. Speaker, on the recruitment of chiefs. Mr. Speaker, and I know the PS is aware, there is too much politics around the recruitment of chiefs and also NPR within the counties. Is there a way the CS can work it out, that the recruitment of NPR and chiefs are done in a transparent manner, so that everybody can see the process is very transparent without politics? And actually the people who are causing problem in these two processes are politicians, so that politicians are locked out completely and the process is transparent and members of public are satisfied with the whole process. That is number one. I know you are smiling, you should be able to work out a strategy on that. Finally, Mr. Speaker, it's the issue of police who have overstayed in hardship areas. I know I've been in security sometimes back, and the policy has been, once you have served in a hardship area for 5 years, you are removed to go to other areas. But it has, these days, police officers take even more than 10 years to stay in a hardship area, until you know they have familiarized themselves with the community, and the work they are doing, they are not even taking it seriously. So can the CS implement the policy on the 5-year rule, so that the police officers in hardship areas, they are actually transferred to other areas, and others are posted to those areas? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator Dula. Honorable CS, could you respond to those questions?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it is true that is a policy on how long an officer should stay in one's position, in one station. But for a long time, that policy has not been implemented. It has now been decided that going forward, no officer who has served for more than 3 years should remain in the station they are serving. The signal went out 2 weeks ago the day when the Task Force on Police Reforms presented their progress report to the President. And now it's part of the policy reforms that we have initiated, and we are expecting, we have given the police command a maximum of 60 days to make sure that all officers countrywide who have stayed for more than 3 years, not 5, must be transferred. Number 2, on the question of involvement of politicians in the appointment of chiefs and assistant chiefs, I agree. And I hope that the proposal by Senator Dulo is in sync with the proposal by the chairman of the Senate Security Committee, because the senator for Baringo, who is the chair of the Security Committee, recommended that there is need for public involvement, public participation in hiring of chiefs. But I don't think public involvement means by politicians. It just means that politicians, like everybody else, can also give their views. And I know what the Senator Dulo is pursuing is the actual meddling. What we should encourage is public participation. Should perhaps involve more people. So that's the proposals that we are willing to look at. But on the 3, is mandatory. In fact, the directive by the government is who continues to resist or for whatever reason does not move to a new station, the salary will be stopped. It's serious. And for those doing sensitive operations, normally we move them after 1 year, because the kinetic work and operations they engage in are extremely demanding. After 1 year, we rotate them so that they serve, even if it's within the same sensitive operations, but in a different station every year. But for general police duties, 3 years you must move. If you don't move, we'll stop your salary.
Thank you very much, Honorable CS, for those responses. Honorable members, we will defer question number 11 and number 12 in the absence of Senator Kinyua. Similarly, we're going to defer question number 45 in the absence of Senator Lomenen, and I will ask Senator Chute to proceed to ask question number 54. Question number 54, Senator Chute, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would start with the question number 54A. How many individuals have lost their lives as a result of terrorism attack in Kenya since the tragic bombing of American embassy in Nairobi by Al-Qaeda terrorists in 1998? Question B, Honorable Speaker, what measures has the government put in place to boost counter-terrorism efforts and safeguard the lives and property of Kenyan citizens? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chute. Waziri, proceed to respond to the question by this Senator.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in response to question number 54 by the Senator from Marsabit, I would like to inform the House that the 1998 bombing of the Embassy of the United States of America in Nairobi which occurred on 7th of August 1998 around 11 a.m. resulted in the death of 213 Kenyans and 12 citizens of the United States of America. About 4,500 other persons were injured in various degrees. Our police agencies, the DCI, together with international agencies and American security agencies, have been involved in investigations, in the consequence of which arrest of several suspects have been done in Kenya, while arrests have also been done outside Kenya. One of the main suspects was Harun Fazul, who has never been arrested. The investigations reveal that this attack was perpetrated by Al-Qaeda, a group calling itself Al-Qaeda, and the planning was done in Khartoum, Sudan. The main planner in the attack was Mr. Harun Fazul, a citizen of the Republic of the Comoros, who had obtained a Kenyan national identification card fraudulently, and his acquisition of the Kenyan ID had been facilitated by officials who were later charged in court. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the morning of the attack, Harun Fazul, together with others, drove a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, VBIED, into the U.S. Embassy, causing the above named or mentioned fatalities and serious infrastructural damages. The motive of the attack was to hurt American interests in the region, as they also attacked the American embassy in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. It was orchestrated by Al-Qaeda terrorist organization led by Mr. Osama bin Laden, who is now dead. Mr. Speaker, sir, since 1998, U.S. embassy attack, approximately 500 lives have been lost through terror attack in the country. This includes the 213 fatalities of the 1998 attack, 201 Kenyans and 12 Americans, 67 people who died at the attack at Westgate Mall in 2014, the Garissa University attack in 2015 that led to the death of 148 persons, the Dusit attack in 2019 in Nairobi that led to the death of 21 civilians and 5 attackers, or 5 suicide bombers. And then the other numbers is a collection of the various civilians and members of the National Police Service and the Kenya Defense Forces who have died as a result of IED attacks in the war against terror in northeastern Kenya and Lamu County. Honorable Speaker, the following measures have been put in place to boost counter-terrorism efforts and safeguard the lives and property of the people of Kenya. First, the government has set up the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit, ATPU, which continues to do a fantastic job in thwarting the threats of terror on a continuous basis. The government has also established the National Center, the National Counterterrorism Center, to deal with risk and also identification of terror threats, and also to deal with encountering radicalization, which is the main recipe for terrorists and the breeding of terror. We also have set in place a joint terrorism task force. Likewise, Kenya has a very robust financial reporting center whose mandate, among other things, is to track inflows and outflows of financial resources into our financial system. And occasionally, this financial reporting center has helped us to detect finances destined to the financing of terrorism, and we've been able to apprehend those resources. The government has also set up a modern Coast Guard, under the Kenya Coast Guard Services Act of 2018 or 2015, and therefore the Coast Guard is helping us police the Kenya's territorial waters, the internal waters of Kenya, and that helps to keep terror, which is transported by sea, at bay. Other than that, the government has established the Transnational Organized Crime Unit at the DCI and the Asset Recovery Agency, so that resources that are frozen on suspicion of being destined to finance terror are seized and forfeited to the Asset Recovery Agency. The government has also established a personal identification secure comparison and evaluating system in immigration services, PISES, which has worked very well, and we are in the process of even upgrading the PISES system with a modern API stroke PNR, Advanced Passenger Information stroke passenger name record system, including other upgradings that we want to do at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and other main ports of entry to ensure that we keep terror at bay and we can be able to detect the movement of terrorists even before they start their journey into Kenya from wherever they are. This is what the PNI, the API stroke PNR will do. But at the moment, the PISES system has helped us big time. The other measure that we've taken, Honorable Speaker, is continuous training and deployment of specialized form units within the National Police Service. The main unit being the Special Operations Group, SOG, which continues to do a fantastic job in the fight against terror. And increasingly, we shall be using more of the same specialized units in the fight against hardcore banditry. And that is what has helped us stabilize places like Baragoi, which were notorious for banditry for a very long time. And going forward, the deployment of these specialized units will go a long way in eradicating banditry, even as we fight terror. We actually are of the opinion that the evolving forms of banditry are moving towards the definition of terrorism. And we've already registered successes in Baragoi and the Kolowa Bridge area between Tiati and Elgeyo Marakwet. And we'll apply more of these specialized units even in the fight against banditry, chronic banditry. We also have the QRU, the Quick Response Unit, GSU, ASTU, which is the Anti-Stock Theft Unit, and others. And generally, those are the measures. And finally, We have enhanced since the enactment of the 2014 multi-agency collaboration for improved efficiency, so that the NIS, the National Police Service, the National Intelligence Service, even the Kenya Defense Forces, all institutions of our national security, whether internal security or the defense of our country, must work together, support each other, irrespective of their very specialized mandates. They must share their competencies and work towards resolving the issue of terror in our borders. So we are making good progress so far in terms of institutional arrangements, in terms of legislation. The following are the legislative measures that has helped us to be able to control the threat of terror. One is the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act, which was lastly amended 1 month ago. Those amendments, some of them, will have great positive results in terms of the fight against terror. And very soon, we may have to designate a number of organizations that we believe are suspected of financing terror. We will, of course, follow the legal procedures for designation, and we hope we'll be able to do that in the next 30 to 60 days. We have the Prevention of Terrorism Act, POTA, which has also helped us big time to be able to even detain hardcore suspects of terror longer than necessary to be able to process them within the law. We also have the Security Laws Amendment Act of 2014, the amendments to the Anti-Narcotic Drugs Act, amendments to the Refugee Act, amendments to the NGO Act, amendments to the Firearms Act, Cap 114, to control the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, amendment to the Kenya Citizenship and Immigration Act, to make it impossible for foreigners to infiltrate our country and cause terror. We have also enhanced local and international collaboration and partnerships through the multi-agency task force, especially through the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We have enhanced information sharing mechanism. We have enhanced financial regulation by the Central Bank of Kenya. We have also enhanced the deployment of modern technology in policing, including the use of Integrated Command Center, that is the IC3, the use of drones increasingly, especially now with the police modernization, equipment modernization program, and also facial and motor vehicle recognition capabilities. So, Honorable Speaker, the American fatalities and Kenyan employees of the U.S. Embassy affected by the bombing incidents were compensated, while no such consideration was given to the other Kenyan. And I know I'll be appearing before a committee set up by this House on this subject, I think in the next few days. So if I could be spared, because already this House is seized of the matter, and I've already given them a date when we'll appear and for interrogation on this matter of the Kenyans who were never compensated after the bombing in 1998. Allow me as I end just to add one extra matter, which is not part of my written statement, which is our continuous engagement in the fight against terror. Terror poses an existential threat to our country. We have all seen what has happened in the Middle East. One small gap in the fight against terror can have devastating effects. So we are not leaving anything for chance. We are concerned with the situation right now in Northeastern. I want to promise the country I will spend more time in Northeastern in the coming days and weeks, because we must bring back the situation and contain the situation that is evolving in that part of our country. The same with Lamu. And on Lamu, I think I had promised to be there from today, but I had to honor this house. I know I'm appearing again before many other committees of the National Assembly tomorrow, so I may have to postpone my journey for a while as I attend to these other obligations. But I can report to the country. We will fix the situation in Lamu. The terror that is being visited on the people of Lamu is unacceptable. And before the end of this week, in the next 2 days, the Ministry of Interior is going to publish those suspects that we consider to be the chief planners and those who bear the greatest responsibility in planning, financing, and orchestrating the violence that has visited Lamu County in the recent weeks. And we will be calling on the people of Kenya to give us information, and we will reward information. We will reward financially information that can help us apprehend those dangerous criminals. In the alternative, we will be giving notice to those criminals to surrender to the authorities, to the nearest police station, to the nearest military camp, to the nearest government office within a given time frame. And we are going to do that announcement before Friday. In the alternative, if they do not surrender, we will look for them and we will find them. And when we find them, we will do what we must. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable CS, for your very elaborate questions. Honorable members, we are 14 minutes outside the time allocated for this particular question. That means we might have to lose out on the other business of the House. From my dashboard, members, I have got 10 requests. You will dislike the chair today, but for good reasons. I will only allow Senator Chute if there is any very burning supplementary question. But for the rest of the members, I'm afraid that the discretion that I will take is to facilitate us to transact the other business of the House that is pending, and it's ahead of us. I know we have got very important questions to the CS. The CS is available for us, not only today. He is available to us and to the House to answer to our questions. So to save time, Senator Chute, if you have any burning supplementary question directed to the CS, and we shall close at that, I'll give directions once your question is responded to by the CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have two questions, very quick ones. One I'll give to Haji. The other one is a very quick one. First of all, let me...
Senator Chute, I have given directions. You cannot give out time without it. So ask your supplementary question. What question?
Okay, let me ask that question, Mr. Speaker. First of all, let me thank the CS for the elaborate answers, and also thank the CS for the new border post in Ileret. Thank you very much, Honorable CS. My question, Honorable CS, last week, the Minister for Defense was before this House, and he said any soldier that is killed in line of duty is paid 5 million Kenyan shillings and I'm guided. Thank you very much. 4 million shillings and 50,000 US dollars if any officer dies in outside this country. Honorable Speaker, I would want to ask this, the CS, if a police officer dies in line of duty when in Kenya or outside Kenya, how much money? But by the way, the CS Defense said within the first 30 days, you'll be paid 4 million shillings. When it comes to a police officer, how much are you paying a police officer within that first 30 days? And my other question on a CS is, have you ever thought of employing Morans and people in northern Kenya and upper eastern, those who are not educated, as police officers? Have you ever thought of recruiting those people so that the banditry issue, the menace we are having in those areas can be controlled and curtailed? If so, if you have that plans, when are you going to execute or start? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, kindly respond to those supplementary questions.
Honorable Speaker, under the medical insurance scheme of the National Police Service, an officer who dies in the line of duty is entitled to a package which includes a one-off payment, which is equivalent to 8 years of gross salary. That also includes the funeral expenses, and therefore is to go further and establish. They've been trained, including abroad, and we are going even to graduate. What happens is that when, and they have really helped us, but whenever they are unfortunate, and every year we commemorate